Chapter 24. If I'm going to be responsible for you kidlings until tomorrow, I'd better get us some supplies. Lo was so happy to believe that things were sorted out and settled with the adults, she looked 5 years younger and 3 inches taller. Would anyone like to cross the road with me? I saw a mega mart as we drove in, and I have a bit of money left. We all shook our heads, saying nothing. Better to lay low, I thought. After all, people were still looking for us. Nobody? Said Lil in her little voice. Well, all right then. Why don't you all sit tight and watch some TV until I get back? Lil moved to pick up the remote control from the desk by the telephone. But Fish jumped up and grabbed it before she could reach it. Why is it that adults are always telling kids to go watch television as though we have nothing better to do? I got it, said Fish, holding up the remote and smiling a cockeyed Fish smile. Lil looked around at the four of us, now spread out across the beds and chairs in the room. Where's... Samson's okay, said Fish, anticipating her question. He's in the other room. We're all okay. You can go shop. We'll be fine. Another smile. Well, okay, said Lil, a bit unsure. She cast one look back at us before leaving the room, as though something suspicious still tickled her senses. I'll be back in a shake, no later than 20 or 30 minutes. As soon as Lil stepped out, the four of us all gulped for air as though we'd not drawn breath since getting to the motel. I can't believe that worked, said Bobby. Remind me to never tell Mother that you can do that, said Will. We've got a bigger problem, said Fish, ruining our small moment of triumph by turning on the television and flipping to a local news channel. It took less than a minute before our pictures flashed across the screen with alert, missing, alert, scrolling along the bottom, just as Fish and I had seen on the little TV back in Emerald. You've got to be kidding me, moaned Bobby, who, like Will, hadn't seen the newscast at the diner. Will stared slack-jawed at the screen with his sister. Looking resigned and unhappy, Fish tossed the television remote back and forth from hand to hand like it was a hot potato. Man, are we in trouble, said Will, shaking his head with the grimace as his own image flashed up on the screen. Maybe we really should have called home. It's better that we didn't, said Bobby. Do you really want state troopers storming in here tonight? You know that if we'd called home, Mother would have phoned Big Brother and he'd have been here in no time flat. He and every other trooper from here to Topeka. What do you think would happen to Lester and Lil then? They'd get in huge trouble. Will turned his head sharp and sudden. Bill's more than a little protective, Bobby continued. He's going to be mad, said Will, and for the first time on that whole trip, Will looked painfully, miserably unhappy. Fish shushed everyone with a violent and well-aimed blast of wind, looking momentarily pleased with himself. Then he turned up the volume of the television. According to a source close to the family, the father of 3 of the missing children is one of the victims of last Thursday's tin pile-up on Highway 81 outside Salina, Kansas. The man sustained serious injuries and is still unconscious and in critical condition at Salina Hope Hospital. I threw myself back onto the floral bedspread and put my hands over my face. It will be all right, the sing-song voice said inside my head. I looked up at Bobby, who was looking right back at me intently. She nodded at me once. It will be all right, the angel's voice repeated. Bobby gave me a brief, kindly smile. It was there and gone again like a flash of rocket sparks. The older girl got up and turned off the TV. That stays off, she said, looking from me to Will to Fish. We all nodded and watched as Bobby unplugged the cord from the wall for good measure. It will be all right, Bobby said out loud to everyone. Lil returned nearly an hour later with a smile almost big enough for her body and several bags from the mega mart. She dumped their contents onto the closest bed. Today's your lucky day, kidlings, she said as we checked out the pile, amazed by how much stuff she'd come back with. There was a mountain of candy bars, t-shirts, chips, lip gloss in both pink and red, Pop-Tarts, playing cards, magazines, Q-tips, nail polish, crayons, duct tape, a new first aid kit, a clean new necktie for Lester, a slinky, 7 toothbrushes, 6 feet of snappy strawberry bubble tape for Bobby, 5 pairs of flip-flops, 4 sticks of deodorant, a package of combs, animal crackers, underwear, and swimsuits. Lil laughed. I just kept on shopping until I was sure I'd spent every dollar Ozzie made me pick up off that floor. That money was too greasy to get attached to, just like that diner. She tossed Fish a pair of swim trunks. I had to guess on all the sizes, so the fit may not be perfect. We can go swimming? I asked, holding up a purple suit with yellow straps that looked almost right for me. Kids and pools. Well, they're like birds in sky, aren't they? said Lil. Besides, even bad kids need to have a little fun sometimes. We all stared at Lil, dumbfounded. Well, go on, she laughed again. Stop staring at me like I just dropped out of the heavens and get changed. What good is a pool without any kids in it? I'm going out to the bus to check on Lester. I've got some ideas for him about how to deliver all those pink Bibles. I think he just needs to take a different approach. Lester, Just needs some confidence in his own skills. She waved the duct tape in the air. He also needs some help covering up all those broken windows in that bus of his. Lo put the roller tape around her waist like a big silver bracelet and picked up the new necktie. Not pink, not blue, but blue with green stripes. She smoothed the silky tie with her fingers, smiling to herself. Lester wasn't the only one working on his charms. Maybe some good would come from this big mess I've made after all.